Morning, folks. We have the camera as usual. We cannot see anything on here, and I'm starting to use the word we now because it used to be her and me, but now it's I have trust in myself. Have you noticed I'm shaving a little now? But I want everybody to look at this long hair in the back now. Look at this. Holy crap. That's ridiculous. I mean, I am not a cowboy, and I never will be a cowboy. You know what she bought from me? Check this out. She can look. I tell you. Now, doesn't this make you feel like you're a cowboy? You know, I looked in this thing and I said, Eddie Brothers, the hat of the cowboys, right? And I looked at it, and there's a little sign that says, $49.50. You paid $50 for this damn thing.
No, I didn't pay that much.
Well, I looked again, and it said $4.95, and I thought, by God, there's a woman I can trust. I love this woman. She's fine. Woo, look at the size of this hat. You know, we both can get in here if you really want to. That's no big deal. You don't have to put this one down on your head because it just kind of settles down in there and gives you, oh, you know, after you cut my hair this morning, which I'm a little, I feel a little, you know, trepidation about that, but I have decided that maybe you can use this one, or I'm looking forward maybe like this one here, you know,
Okay.
because that would be, you know, a little bit easier on my hair. So this is a very momentous day in my life. I haven't had the back of my hair, cut in how many months? See, there she goes. She doesn't even know.
Well, I have more serious concerns on my mind.
I don't care. I have serious concerns about my head. What's on my head, not what's in my mind. What's in my mind?
I can wipe that hair off in about 2 minutes.
That's what worries me.
You know what day today is? It's Sunday. Sunday.
Well, what do we usually do on Sunday?
Since we don't belong to any church, don't you worry about not getting into any of their heavens when you die? The Lutherans are not going to let you in their heaven. The Mormons aren't going to let me in Mormon heaven.
Well, here's one thing I want to throw at you, okay? I don't want to go to a Lutheran heaven. I don't want to go to a Mormon heaven. Because if they got all of these bizarre things, you know, going on.
Well, I was just thinking, separatism does not, I doubt if separatism even works in heaven. I mean, just imagine, you go to heaven, and then you say, well, where's the way to the Mormon heaven? And then there might be, you know, they might have stipulations like you have to have a recommend to get in Mormon heaven.
Well, now wait a minute. You have to have a license to cut hair, right? You have to have a barber's license. I had a cosmetology license.
How interested are you? Can you remain in his hair? This is what I can't.
It's my hair. It's not your hair.
He gets, you know, he doesn't get onto the serious things of life, like where we're going to go, what heaven we're going to. I'm concerned about this.
I never spent $5 on a hat like this either, I'll tell you that. Boy.
I'm 79, and he's 70-something, and neither one, and he's not healthy, and so
wait a minute.
We should start worrying about what heaven,
wait a second.
what hereafter we're going to.
Wait a second now.
This whole idea of separatism in the hereafter.
Have you seen my birth certificate?
What?
I could be 43 and you don't even know it.
Get on with the important part.
Oh.
The part where you have to figure out where you're going to go when you get to heaven. Look at him. He gets his mind on some little thing that I'm not interested in, and I'm sure you're not.
You should be interested in my hair.
You are not. He can go on and on. on and on some subject that has no content to it. Now, the question of what hereafter we are going to go to, or I'm going to go to, is a lot more concern, because neither one of us belong to a church. And
I
all
belong
churches,
to a church.
Oh, you don't either. You haven't been for years. And anyway, when all churches preach that if you don't stick with that church, you're not going to go to heaven. I can remember hearing that. All the Catholics are going to hell. They don't belong to the Mormon church. And all the others are going to hell because this is the right church. And the Christians have told me that unless I'm saved, unless I believe that, well, you know what they ask for. And when I'd say, well, I just can't quite
They ask for
believe
10%
that.
of your money is what they ask
No,
for.
but they also ask you to believe. Believe.
Yeah, believe you better
And
cough up 10% of your money.
Never was able to, I started doing this, as a Mormon. I didn't believe in Joseph Smith. Why? I said,
Neither did I.
I can't believe in a man that would start polygamy. No. If you've read anything about polygamy and him starting it, his wife was just devastated by him starting polygamy.
You ever read the Old Testament?
She thought this.
With the Jews.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, that's no justification to start polygamy. That's going back in the dark. It clear back into the past. I don't know where Joseph Smith got this, I guess.
That's
he
where
got
he
it from
got
the
it
Bible.
That's where he got it
And
from.
started polygamy. Can you imagine? And then he claimed that unless you joined this church, which he had been told by angels that they wanted him to start the only true church on this earth. No other church was true. So they're going to start a church, and it's going to be the only true one on earth.
It's going to be the one
And
in
if
America.
you do not
That's right.
believe in this church, you are not going to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
You certainly aren't going to get in Mormon heaven. Well, I took a chance with my place in heaven by leaving the Mormon church. You think that's nothing? I have no heaven to go to.
I know.
So where are we going to hang
Why
out?
are you kidding me? I mean,
Get
a woman
serious!
that's-
Get serious! Look at you! You're not even taking this serious. He doesn't know where he's going to even be hanging out. We get on the other side.
I have to put this out.
And so here's the question. I felt that I was being sensible by rejecting polygamy, and I'm rejecting the man that started it. I said, no, this cannot be this church cannot be true if he'd start polygamy. That alone was it for me. I said, no, I can't believe this. I'm not going to accept it. And so therefore I was living in Utah that's full of Mormons, and what was going to happen to me? I was not going to I not only was rejected by the Mormon community because I left the church and I was sitting up there trying to, hang out, and nobody hardly would associate with me that were good Mormons because I'd done this. And
So you hung around with all the bad Mormons, right?
well, there was only the bad people to hang out with. The ones
Well,
that,
that's what I
wouldn't
said.
go
Hang out with the bad
along. They
Mormons,
wouldn't.
right?
So I found myself hanging out with the bad people rather than the good people because I couldn't buy polygamy. I said, a man that would start that, no. He cannot have started the true church. And you people just aren't able to see that. And I admit that it was a big job for me to try to persuade all the Utah Mormons that they had gone down the wrong road to accept this man and his church as the only true church on this earth.
I think
Everybody else
think
was
that-
not going to heaven except us Mormons, the Mormons. And now I was no longer included.
Now you're really scared shitless,
Oh,
right?
no.
Yeah. Oh, I'm SOL, man. Woo! all of this, like, this
Separatism.
because I'm
And
this is momentum.
I sort
It's
of got
gonna cut
rejected.
I'm gonna let a woman
even
like
by
this cut my
my own
hair.
family,
Oh.
that were good Mormons. I got rejected by them.
What is a good Mormon? What's a bad Mormon? What's a Jack Mormon?
A good Mormon is one that goes to church, accepts the
All right.
church,
What's a good
says
Catholic?
they believe in it,
Well,
and
what's
you
a
got to
good-
say you believe in
What's
it.
a good Catholic? What's a bad Catholic?
And then, presumably, you will.
What's a
enter-
good Lutheran? What's a bad
You
Lutheran?
will enter Mormon heaven. And if you don't, this is what's preached. You will go to hell. Go to hell.
Yes, but
It is a very bad place.
How
And
do
I
you know?
don't want to go to hell.
honey, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but this is about as bad as it's gonna get.
Us all alone, all
Yeah.
by ourselves.
That's right.
Nobody talking to.
Living in this place, this is
My
hell.
Mormon family quit talking to me years ago. I said, no, she's rejected the church, so. But I had some other sisters
Now remember,
that did
you're on
this.
camera here, so if you keep leaning way over,
Oh,
you're not gonna
yeah, I
be on
know,
camera.
I know,
You can
I
just
know.
lean
But it's
straight
this
back.
separatism. The churches actually on this earth that claim that if you don't accept their church, and then I was really shocked to come down to leave Utah. I said, well, I can't stand being ignored like this, and not having anybody to talk to except the bad people. So I'm going to leave and go see what I can find out in the
Now,
other states.
I'm going to put another disclaimer on here, right?
Yes.
Am I the bad people?
Yeah, oh yes, definitely. You are the bad. And then I went and I tried to
I'm going to
join
trust
some
her
other
with
churches.
my hair later
Well,
on,
I
folks.
found out
I'm in
that they all
serious
have the
trouble.
same philosophy. If you don't buy this, you don't believe in this that we're preaching, you will go to hell. If you don't accept it, you will not be saved. You will. And you know, this was a very, very difficult decision for me to make, not to be saved. When everybody else in the world, that I could see thousands of them, were getting saved, and I could not be saved because I couldn't say that I believed in it.
Well, you could have
Could not
said that.
believe. I said, no.
You could say that. Most people say that I believe. I believe that they go and do it. Do whatever they want to do anyway.
But I didn't believe. And, it's trying to teach you, I believe. I couldn't believe it. I had just as much trouble, actually, with the other churches as I did with, because I had to believe. I had to believe. I had to accept. I don't even dare say what I wouldn't accept. That'd probably be blasphemy.
Well, here's the
But
problem.
I couldn't accept
the
their
problem that I
premises.
perceive is that
I had to believe this,
I'm
or
getting a little worried about you cutting my hair when you start getting all upset because I'm liable to end up looking like Kojak or some idiot with no hair on it at all. I'm going, I
well,
believe
I'm
you could
wondering,
cut
are
just
there
my back of
any
my hair off.
sane people? Is there a hereafter where you're not told that you've got to believe this? You've got to believe in polygamy, or the man who started polygamy, that the church that he established, or you've got to believe in something else, in the Savior. I couldn't even believe in the Savior. It was just boggled my mind. I just could not believe there was one man who was different than everybody else, and he.
That boggles my mind too.
Yeah, well,
If I had a mind, it would be boggled. Trust me. I
No,
always
right.
questioned this when I was
Right.
growing up.
Well,
That's
I
why
did
I
too.
was always segregated from the rest of the class.
Oh, you
Okay.
could have poisoned their minds with your questions.
I know. Well, give him straight A's and get him out of here.
And this is what I said. I said, now I just can't believe that there was one man that was different than every other man that he was born. And he's our Savior. I know I just can't buy that. I'm sorry. Nobody actually saw how this happened, and I just can't accept this because I just doubt if any, I just doubted it, and I just couldn't swallow it. So I said, no, I can't believe that either. So therefore now we have no hereafter to go to because we have rejected their
Now,
qualifications for getting
wait a
into
minute.
their hereafter.
think about this. You and I are semi-intellectual. Notice that pseudo-semi I said.
Pseudo.
Semi-intellectual. Why can't we make up our own religion? We can make up our own hereafter. I've told this woman several times over a period of years that if I ever got religion, I'd be extremely dangerous. I would not only be dangerous, I'd have gold and shit hanging all over me, you know. I would be up there preaching and telling you people, you're gonna make money. Now just put money in my coffers and you'll make money out of my money making money.
Listen, he's not serious about this, you know, because
Well, I am
I'll tell
serious.
you what, no you're not. Or you'd quit that stuff and get serious. I've told him, I said, you
I
cannot
told you if
think.
I did that, I'd be
you
dangerous.
cannot think
Extremely
well.
dangerous.
Cannot think well and drink that stuff. He doesn't believe me, but his brain gets logged with a substance that he cannot think
Now
through.
wait a minute. All right, we're talking
You cannot
about.
think through that. You're not thinking as well as I'm thinking. Let's put it that
There
way.
we go.
So he talks about hair when he should be talking about the very important problem of where we're going in the hereafter. We're getting very close.
Do you
And
have to have your hair cut in the hereafter? That's a question
and
I want to know.
This is
You have
what
to get your hair
alcohol.
cut.
This is what this substance he drinks causes him to do. He focuses on unimportant, very unimportant matters like cutting his hair.
Well, my hair
and
today
he
is
goes
important
on
to me,
and
'cause
on and on about it.
If you
and,
take it off,
instead
it's
of
got to
doing
grow back.
some thinking with his brain, he's got his brain in such bad shape that he can't think. And I'm left to do the heavy thinking. And
Okay, lay it on us, baby. Lay the heavy thinking on me.
the heavy thinking about where we're going to go. As soon as, we know we've died, well, what direction are we going to take?
Now wait a minute.
What kind of
Oh my God, the pigeon just showed up. Now let me ask you this. This morning
people aren't going to be
You're talking to your sister. Was this a live sister or the one that's dead?
Well, she passed, but how are we going to hang out
Well, how's she
if
doing?
nobody may hang out with us?
How's the one?
Well, her husband, they could go to Mormon heaven. We're not going to have anybody to hang out with. Your mother and dad are very, very apt to be in Lutheran heaven. Don't you think after they spent their life going to church, you think they're not going to be in Lutheran heaven? Who in the world is going to hang out with us except the bad people? We're going to be up there with a bunch of very bad people. That's all that's going to hang out with us. The rest will be in their heavens.
Look,
They will be
I am
in their
looking forward
Lutheran
to-
heaven. They will be in their Catholic heaven. They will be in their Rolling Rollers heaven. They will be in the Assembly of God heaven, and they will be in Mormon heaven.
Now wait a minute. I am looking
And
forward.
we don't have any heaven at
I
all to
am
go
looking
to.
forward to seeing the guy that's a logger. Okay, I want to see the size of the logs this guy cut. This
The
is my kind of guy.
thieves,
The
the
thieves, right?
thieves,
See?
the liars, the drunks. That's who we'll be hanging out with.
What's this weed
Oh,
stuff?
because
You're dragging me in on weed.
I'm going to be hanging out with them. When I used my brain, I said,
You use your
hey,
brain
I
to
used
hang
my
out with
brain
guys like
and
that.
said, a guy who invents polygamy. Now he's not for women. He's the women's worst enemy. He will have you in a marriage, probably in heaven. It's still on the books. A Mormon still can have more than one wife in heaven. That's on the books. So you would
I
end
had
up in
more than one
heaven
wife,
with
but
your
not at the
husband.
same
He would
time,
have
okay?
3 or 4 wives, but there's no, and I don't want 3 or 4 husbands. I really don't at the same time. I just don't. I don't think I can have
Well,
it.
I said I've had 4 wives, but not at the same time. I mean, over a period of 30 years. But holy crap! One at a time is enough for any man.
So is this going to go on? You and I are just going to find nothing but bad people to associate with,
Certainly.
because
yeah.
all the
I
Mormons,
certainly
all the
hope
good
not,
people
because-
are in their heavens. And the doors are closed to us because we have not been faithful members. We haven't accepted what we were supposed to accept. You think that's funny?
Well, wait a minute.
I'm getting tired of
This
hanging
woman
out
hits
with
me.
the worst, the dregs, the drunks. But on the other hand,
Get used to it, because
on the other hand,
that's all you've ever done your whole life, so get used to it. This could be heaven for you. You don't know. I'm probably the nicest guy you ever met in your life.
is he the nicest guy I've ever met? Yes.